Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the NS9 Postgame Show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we have Ryan Alexander. Ryan, it's Saturday. Can we forget this game happened?
And NS9 After Dark here.
It is NS9 After Dark. It's NS9 in dark right now.
That's right. It was a rough game. Pirates they gave that game away, DiNardo. They had their chances.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about this game in totality, but to sum it up in like a few sentences, they got the Zach Allen, which honestly, with Brian Reynolds out of the lineup, you're kind of skeptic of how this lineup was going to be today, especially with Zach Allen, who's a good pitcher on the mound. And they got to him early, a 3-0 lead. And you're feeling pretty good because Luis Ortiz is pitching pretty well. And we know how good this bullpen is. And unfortunately, they gave up runs. They gave up the lead. And this offense had opportunities. They had opportunities twice. Weren't able to capitalize on them. And they lose the game.
Yeah. It was a like you said, look, the Pirates came into the night as they were a huge underdog going against Zach Allen on the road. Brian Reynolds is out for bereavement leave. Rowdy gets injured in the game, has to leave. So the fact that they jumped on Gallen early was huge. They take a 3-0 lead and just slowly gave it away. And you could see it coming throughout most of the game. And it just it came, and we'll get into Luis Ortiz and everything, but you said he was pitching well. I mean, was he? Like, it was.
Well, it wasn't his best performance, I'll say that, but it was good enough.
He was skirting trouble all night, every inning almost, and it the sixth inning. They brought him out for the sixth, which, I didn't have a problem with at that point. 2 runs allowed, gives up the solo home run. They leave him in, I don't know, a batter too early, puts that guy on, and then they go to the bullpen. But yeah, it was just one of those games. And they were it was an uphill battle coming into it. They got to Gallen. You would have liked to seen him add on and kind of maybe chase Gallen from that game a little earlier than what they did, because he settled in. And just right now with the state of this offense, there's not much room for error, DiNardo. We've talked about this.
Yeah, right. That's certainly it. Before we go any further, of course, to let you know, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything online sports betting. Right now, you can receive a 50% free bet up to $250 on your first deposit to bet on anything from the Olympics, which started tonight, to baseball, to Formula One racing. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE, that is BLEAV, for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. BetOnline, the game starts here. So, yeah, Ryan, I mean, honestly, like you mentioned, that's fair. Like, it wasn't Luis Ortiz's best start. But it did come out. He was looking not as sharp, right? I mean, he allowed three walks today. Something he's been limiting a lot is the walks. He did give up a big home run with a fastball pretty much just belt high, middle. Jock Peterson took him deep. So a mistake that was capitalized on there. But like in all, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, getting that home run, 3 earned runs, which of course part of that was Carmen Mlodzinski coming in. So yeah, there is that. And going back to this, Brian Reynolds is out on bereavement. So for one, like, condolences to Brian Reynolds and his family. But that's part of, like, when you go, that's part of the issue. I'll put it this way. Brian Reynolds has certainly been carrying this team offensively since June 1st. And if it's not him, it's Rowdy Tellez that's helping out. And both those guys essentially were out of the lineup for the most part. But like with no Brian Reynolds, you're kind of left like shaking your head. What's this? How's this lineup even going to shape up? Are they essentially just going to move everyone up further? Are they going to put Nick Gonzalez in the 2 hole? Like, what's going to happen? Either way, you're only going to be comfortable with maybe 3-4 guys in the lineup, and then after that, it's good luck. So I know you said you'd rather, like, you wanted to see them chase Zach Gallen out early. Honestly, them scoring 3 runs with this lineup on Zach Gallen to me almost felt like best case scenario. They were doing their job early. There's a lot of blame. O'Neill Cruz did not look good today. Rowdy, of course, did take the pitch off the hand. Try to fight through it the second at bat. We got pulled out after that.
What'd you make of that? Because they said, you see him get hit in the hand. You see it, it bothering him in his next at bat. And then now he was pulled out for back spasms. So like,
oh, wait a minute. Was it back spasms? Was that the official?
Yeah, that's what they announced. Yeah. Cause that's the first thing everybody thought was that it was the hand. And then they said it was back spasms.
Oh, well, that's interesting. I guess I wasn't aware of that. More or less, I probably just assumed it was the hand.
Right.
Well,
I mean, hopefully the hand's okay, because it definitely seemed like it was bothering him after that first at bat.
Right. That's why, again, like I assumed it was simply the hand. So if it's the back, I don't know now. I was concerned because maybe it is the hand. We're heading into the trade deadline. And if they go in for x-rays and find out it's broken, like, okay, now one of your best hitters since June 1st is now out for who knows how long.
Right.
If it's back spasms, I kind of feel better.
Okay. Because I was going to say, I'm like, I don't know if I mean, yeah, obviously you hope the hand's not broke or anything. There's no broken bone in there. But yeah, like back spasms, it was just kind of a weird, like, when did that pop up? So, but yeah, that was obviously a huge loss. I mean, we've talked about Rowdy and since June 1st and him getting hot and everything. And what's up, Amanda? But yeah, just him in a lineup that you're already down Reynolds, and then Rowdy, basically is pulled after one at bat. It was, it's just there's not much in the lineup that you're going to be able to count on. And like, so I mean, Sawinski stinks. Like he's so bad right now. And then we have Hayes. I mean, Hayes got a hit, which was almost kind of like a excuse me swing, and he got it through the infield. But Hayes, Sawinski, Taylor, like there's just so many holes in this lineup.
Now, albeit though, Taylor was one of the best producers offensively today.
I wouldn't say he was one of the best, but he did have a walk.
1 for 3, had the walk. Yeah. Now that bunt, I'll put it this way: the bunt was really bad luck. He's been awful bunting this year, but that was kind of bad luck. I mean, he bunted, went down, ended up hitting him, and he got called out. He looked better at the plate today. He's looked better for what it's worth. He's looked better at the plate recently. It's still not good. You still want to upgrade it. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, we're fine now. I'm just saying he has looked better than what he has in the past. But I mean, let's start the game off. Kutch comes up, he gets a walk. O'Neill Cruz strikes out. Nick Gonzalez comes up, he gets a big hit. Kutch was going on it. So Kutch gets a third. Right away, 1 out. Bucks on the corner. And then Joshua Palacios comes up with another, like, a big clutch hit. It's a 2-0 ball game.
Baby. Brooklyn.
Right away. It's a 2-0 ball game. Zach Gallen, as we're mentioning. And you're kind of feeling good right now. I mean, hey, how many times do Pirates fans complain about the lineup, and that's the time that they score 10 runs? It's like it's every time, it seems like, right? So with B-Ray out, you see this lineup, you're like, oh boy, it's going to struggle. 2-0 with just 1 out already off the bat. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good. Obviously, it ends there. It wraps around. Guy on, catches up, gets a big double there. So now a 3-0 ball game. Luis Ortiz was kind of rolling at that point in time. So yes, like they did get to Zach Gallen early with his offense. So like kudos to that, credit to that. But the problem is, which happens often, and we talk, the Pirates score in an inning and then they get shut out. It's over. Now they did do it in 2 innings this time.
Right. But it wasn't the 1 inning and then gone. But it was, like you said, I mean, you come in as an underdog, you take that 3-0 lead against Zach Gallen, you're feeling pretty good. You
Mhm.
have Luis Ortiz on the mound, who's been really good, in that starter role. And he, like you said, he battled. He wasn't. It was not his best start by any means. I mean, he was just kind of dodging trouble throughout most of the game, and it finally caught up to him. And then it just didn't work out. And when you have this
Oh, boy.
lineup, yeah, my monitor is just going in and out here, kind of like the Pirates offense. But you just kind of had a feeling after that 3-0 lead, and then Gallen settled in. Like, I don't know if we're getting any more runs. And they had
No,
chances late in the game too, DiNardo. I mean, they had the 7th inning was the big one. You get, what was it, back-to-back walks. So you have 2 on, no out. You chase Gallen from the game, and then 3 straight outs from the Diamondbacks bullpen, and the game, that was their biggest chance right there. That was their opportunity to get back in the game, to win the game, to get the lead. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Cruz had a bad at bat. I think McCutchen struck out in that inning.
Oh, yeah,
And
they're both. I mean, it was back to back.
Yeah.
Kutch was on a
It was
3-0
ugly.
count, and then just 3 straight pitches that just horrible. Cruz looked completely baffled today as well. I mean, I know he did get the hit at the very end of the game. An easier pitcher. Maybe not easy. I shouldn't say that. He's still a good pitcher, but one that you feel Cruz could have an easier time against. I'll put it that way. So he did
Right.
get the hit there end of the game, but like at that point, it was too little, too late. 2 outs. He finally got the hit. When he needed the hit was when there was 1 out and 2 guys on. So yeah, Kutch and Cruz had back-to-back just poor, terrible at-bats. And then Nick Gonzalez came up and, he ground out to the third baseman, inning over. Like that, like you said, like that was the crucial moment. When
That
the
was the game.
back of your lineup, right, when number 8 and number 9 get on by walks, to get your starter out of the game, going into this bullpen that has struggled. And now you're turning over the lineup. Now you have Kutch up. Now you have Cruz up. Now you have Nick Gonzalez up, who's been feasting on RBIs all year. That's your moment to capitalize. And they fell completely on their faces.
Yeah. And I mean, if Kutch and Cruz aren't coming through and Nick Gonzalez, then who is? Like you said, Rowdy's out of the game. You got Connor Joe in there. And that was it. They just missed opportunities. On a night when the Brewers lost, the Cardinals lost, you had a really good opportunity to take this one in the opener in Arizona on this road trip, and they didn't do it. They didn't come through, and it's just another frustrating one-run loss by the Pirates that we've seen this year. That everybody says, "Oh, just be patient. Ben Cherington will make a move. We'll get a bat." The trade deadline's not till next week. It's nobody makes trades this early. Like, go get a bat. You snooze, you lose, Ben Cherington. Don't wait. Go get a bat.
I'll put it this way. I'm not stressing too much about the trade deadline at this point in time. If they get one guy today
I'm
or
starting
Tuesday, I still understand it's not going to happen, but like it should have happened a month ago. Like that's like real urgency was let's make that happen. I'm not going to stress over if it's a day or 2 earlier, but they've seen this problem. They've witnessed the problem. The problem's been there. There was no actual like internal reinforcements to fix the problem, so like they've gone 2 months with this problem without making a trade. I'm not going to stress over 2 or 3 days. It's going to come. We'll find out what it is, and we'll have our trade deadline show on Tuesday. 6:00 is the trade deadline, so we'll be on after that at some point. But I mean, yes, like a game like today just kind of showed and exposed, the issue. Now they were able to score more than 2 runs. Like again, like I'm giving some credit there. Like they finally did that.
Instead of 2,
usually
it
when
was
they
3.
do, they have a very good record. But you just like they're 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position, left 9 guys on base today. It's a problem. Tyler talks about it a lot. Same again, like their situational hitting is just awful.
Yep.
I'm
11
kind of
strikeouts
excusing
too.
Michael A. Taylor, but like the bunting has been terrible this year as well. They don't do the small things well.
No, they haven't for years, really. But like you mentioned, situational hitting, runners in scoring position. They had 11 strikeouts today. It's just like, I mean, we've seen, strikeouts are all across baseball, but usually with strikeouts come home runs. And the Pirates can certainly hit home runs. We've seen games where they, have that outburst and they're homering 7 times that one game. But then they do it it's just so inconsistency. That's what it is. It's so inconsistent. They don't really have the power to go with the strikeouts when they're striking out a ton. And yeah, like I said, you get a 3-0 lead with Ortiz on the mound. You have to take that win on the road, and they just couldn't do it. Couldn't add on and couldn't take advantage. And Ortiz gave it up, and they went to the bullpen, and the bullpen didn't come through. So it sucked. It was a frustrating game for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I want to say to this also. I mean, yes, it's frustrating on the offense, and we've talked about it. But this kind of is just one of those games where it is what it is. The offense did enough early. Luis Ortiz was doing well enough. 6th inning comes out, and I think that you can question, was it the right move to have Luis Ortiz start the 6th, go to the bullpen? Now, ultimately, it probably didn't matter because it's not like Carmen Mlodzinski looked good either. But Luis Ortiz does come out, got guys on, gets pulled right away. Carmen Mlodzinski. And Ryan, like I put it here in the group chat earlier, I refrained from doing it, but I was about to tweet out these numbers and just saying, well, you know what? Here's the thing. Just to remind everyone, this Pirates bullpen has been really, really good. And that's why I'm going to say what I'm going to say at this point in time. But since June 1st, these guys, Kyle Nicholas, 2.18 ERA. Carmen Mlodzinski, who, again, he's the one that gave up those hits, scored those runs. Of course, most of them were earned on Luis Ortiz. But Carmen Mlodzinski came in here with a 0.90 ERA since June 1st, and that's in 20 innings.
Right.
Colin Holderman, 2.33 ERA. Aroldis Chapman, 2.95. David Bednar, 2.45. So, when Luis Ortiz gives you 5 innings of shutout baseball, this bullpen's fresh. It's a big series. And like you said, he did enough, but he wasn't like the Luis Ortiz we've seen of late.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of felt like, why didn't you just take your win, right? Luis, you did a good job. At that point in time, I think it was at 90 pitches actually, after 5.
Yeah.
Which he also 60 pitches for strikes. I mean, he was finding the strike zone often, even though he did walk some guys. But yeah, at that point in time, I feel like, you know what, you did your job. Let's get to the bullpen. They're fresh. Let's get this W. And it just wasn't the case. And again, they let him go out there, but that's what I'm alluding to here as well. Had they have done that, well, hey, Carmen Mlodzinski gave up 2 hits. He didn't look good today. And it happens. It happens. He has been lights out for almost 2 entire months. Today, it just didn't happen. They're, the Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals, the Diamondbacks were able to capitalize, and it just is what it is.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't have a problem going Mlodzinski first out of the pen. Now, you made a good point about, would you start Ortiz for that 6th inning? Like you mentioned, he was at 90 pitches. I was a little surprised that he came out for the 6th. Just going on the pitch count, what he had looked like on the day, he just wasn't that sharp. He had been putting guys on base the whole game. And yeah, you'd like to see, Shelton kind of did the same thing on Wednesday where, the Pirates were up 5-0. So they had more of a lead. At this point in the 6th inning, the lead was down to 1 run, but he stayed with the starter with a fresh bullpen, kind of, longer than he probably needed to. And I felt like this game, I'm not going to crucify Shelton for the decision, but I just, I think if he just had a little more feel for that, for his pitcher in that spot, and just say, hey, we got the lead. Let's try to get this game. Ortiz hasn't been as sharp as we've seen. So let's try to just go to the bullpen and shut this game down and kind of manage it like it's a playoff game or whatnot. Because you have everybody. Chapman's fresh, Bednar's fresh,
Right.
Nicholas, who we saw, Mlodzinski, Holderman. You have these guys available, and yeah, Mlodzinski's been great. So I didn't have a problem going with him, but at that point, you have somebody on base. He gives up 2 hits. The inherited runner scores, and you go from there. So I don't know, if does Mlodzinski pitch a clean inning if he starts off the 6th? He gave up 2 hits, so he still could have, but we'll never know. And but yeah, it's just one of those. you could have had a little more of a feel for it because, yeah, I don't know. Like it seems like Shelton lately has been trying to get an extra inning or two out of his starters when you really don't need to. And I don't know if that's him just we've had so many instances this year where the bullpen's been this guy's unavailable, that guy's unavailable, this guy's pitched 3 days in a row, whatever. So I don't know if he's just trying to avoid that scenario early in a road trip. But yeah, you could have, Holderman, Mlodzinski, Bednar, Chapman, like shut that game down. So that's just like I said, I don't think it was the worst decision ever, but
Yeah,
that's probably where I would have went.
And that's fair. This isn't one where like Shelton lost the game. You can question it. It's a decision that was made. I'm not here saying it was right or wrong. And again, if you made what maybe the decision should have been to pull, Luis Ortiz out, Carmen Mlodzinski didn't seem to have it anyway. So like, I don't think it changes much. Is what it's still what we're alluding to. Mlodzinski just didn't seem to have it today. They got to him, and that's what I'm saying. Like he has been lights out. It's going to happen. You're not going to win every game. You're not going to be lights out every single game. So, he did allow them to get back into the game, unfortunately. But the biggest thing was it was a 4-3 game. Pirates still have an opportunity to win. Like it's 4-3. It's not out of reach. And they were given that opportunity a few times. I mean, twice they had two guys on the ability to just at least bring in the tying run. And they failed to do it. And one of those opportunities was when there was actually 0 outs in the top of your lineup.
Yep.
That's when you had to capitalize. You failed to, and you got another opportunity afterwards. It's not often you're given that second chance. And they did get that second chance, late in the game, and they still didn't do it then either. So yeah.
We posted,
again, it highlights again the reason why this team does need some bats, because you know what, Ryan? We're talking about this guy didn't have it, that guy didn't have it. It was just 4 runs. Like this pitching, when they don't have it, they give up 4 runs. It's not astronomical to come back from.
Hey, Brent Rooker homered again today.
Here we go.
Just saying. It would have been a nice home run by Brent Rooker in that 7th inning for the Pirates.
Yeah, I know.
But that's the thing. Like, yeah, they had their chances, and they just, once again, this team is just, they don't have any timely hitting. And I think it was you that mentioned earlier this week or last week, like if Cruz and Reynolds aren't hitting in this lineup, there's nobody's hitting. And Reynolds is out this week, at least this series. Tellez goes down, and Cruz is kind of, he had a bad game Wednesday as well. And he just, as good as Cruz has been with the power and everything this year in his defense, like goes into these spurts where it's like 3 strikeouts today. Like you mentioned, he had to hit late, but to extend the game, it didn't come of anything. But yeah, they're getting guys on base and just not punching them through. Also, can we talk about McCutchen? Why is it you tweeted out about McCutchen and his numbers in the leadoff spot today? And I saw a couple comments in here when we first came on about McCutchen struck out in the 7th inning. Why is it McCutchen had a double today, had a walk, he scored a run? Like McCutchen didn't have a bad game. Why is it always like people harp on McCutchen on games when he drives in a run and he's walking, he's getting on base, and he's driving? Like people are harping on him that McCutchen had this bad at bat and he had a bad game and this and that. Like it's just like, what are we doing here? Like there's a lot of
I don't know
hate McCutchen in that DH role. They hate him on this team. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know, Ryan. And if you want to talk about it, then let's talk about it, because I don't understand that at all. You're right. He gets a lot. This team's going nowhere with Kutch. And my thing is, Kutch is not the problem.
Right.
Kutch is not the problem. As I put out here the numbers, he has a 114 win runs created plus in the leadoff role this year, which is better than league average leadoff hitters in MLB and better than league average designated hitters in MLB as well. So he's an above average hitter in general. He's above average leadoff hitter and average designated hitter in baseball as well. Like He's not your problem. I don't understand it either, Ryan. Like, people have the audacity to say Kutch, and harp on Kutch, and it's Kutch this, Kutch that. And then you have Michael A. Taylor doing what he's doing, and Joey Bart doing what he's doing, and Jack Swinski doing what he's doing. And like, you just keep going down the list. Brian Hayes doing what he's doing. And Nick Gonzalez has not been good either. Since June 1st, he's actually been like, he's a 66 weighted runs created plus. He's not been good. Like, the only people that have positive numbers on this team offensively is Brian Reynolds, who's like the 9th best hitter in baseball at this point in time since June 1st. Rowdy Tellez, who's actually like the 13th best hitter in baseball since June 1st. And then I think O'Neal Cruz has a 120 weighted runs created plus. And then now Kutch has dipped down. He struggled more recently. I think it's like a 96, but like, that's it. Yes. Like, he's fine.
He's fine.
He's
still a Rosati line. He's fine.
He's not carrying your team and helping it. He's not hurting it. All the 5 other positions and all the 5 other players that are starting that day are the ones that are dragging down this team. So I don't understand all the Kutch hatred.
I don't either, because what it doesn't make sense to me is that, like you mentioned, Hayes and when Rowdy was bad and Sawinski's bad now, that makes sense to me because those players don't have fan equity built up. Like, Kutch is a Pirate legend. Like, he's lives in Pittsburgh now, named his kid Steele. Like, he's, top 10 now in hits in Pirates history. Like, the fan equity is there. You would think McCutchen is batting, has a 589 OPS like Brian Hayes does. And it's like, no, McCutchen's been above average. He's a DH. He's been good in the leadoff spot. Like, I don't know. Like, and he was leading the team in home runs at one point this year. So, like, I just don't get it. It's very strange of all the things in this lineup to complain about. It, like, people just always harp back on Kutch. And it's bizarre to me.
Yeah. I think of this aspect as well. You're picking on Kutch, who means so much to this city, so much to the organization, and honestly, so much to this clubhouse. He is one of your better hitting performers, regardless of what you guys are talking. This team is awful offensively. So he is one of the better ones. Like, imagine you're benching Kutch. You're pulling Kutch out, and everyone in the round's looking, saying, but Jack's there. But Key's there. What the hell are you doing? Honestly, like, if I'm a player and I'm seeing you're taking Kutch out and you're saying, no, Kutch, you're a problem. We got to replace you. We got to get you out of here. And also, can I ask this? Who the hell are you removing Kutch so that way Cabrine can get more at-bats on his day off? Are you trying to find a way to get Cabrine more at-bats? Are you trying to find a way to get Jack more at-bats when they're not playing the field? So you're going to replace Kutch with that? And if you want to talk about the Rooker thing, no, Kutch is the problem. That's why they can't get Rooker. Okay. So you're going to replace your 4th best hitter to add in Rooker, when what you could do is just actually replace your 13th worst hitter with another guy and actually improve the offense tremendously, and not just take out a better hitter for a better hitter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you didn't have 2 of the worst starting outfield, players hitting wise this year, then maybe
you're benching you, but we need Michael A. Taylor in the lineup today.
Yeah.
If I'm Brian Hayes, I'm going to Shelton and I'm saying, with my Southern accent, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's why keep catching this lineup.
That's why
I'm not taking the field.
People are harping about Rooker and he's a DH and you can't put him in right field. I don't care about his defense. Get him in this lineup to hit some freaking home runs. That's what you're bringing him in for. Like,
that's all fair. That's an argument, which we won't.
So I know I don't want to turn this into NS9 Live Part 2, but good Lord, it's like, I don't care about the defense at this point. We need bats. We need to hit the ball. Like, we have a good pitching rotation. The outfield defense already isn't great. So what's it matter at this point? But anyway, that I digress. But yeah, it's just weird about the whole Kutch thing. Like, Kutch he was fine today. Yeah, he struck out in the 7th inning. So did Cruz. I mean, it's just, Nick Gonzalez got out. So like, that was the game. That was their point for the comeback, and it just didn't happen. But yeah, you could say, well, Kutch isn't clutch. I mean, I don't know. Has Kutch really? He's had some moments, throughout the Pirates' career, but I wouldn't really say he was like all-time Mr. Clutch. But he's leading off. Like he's supposed to get on base, score runs, and he's been doing that. His OPS is over 700. Like you mentioned, 100. I think 114 WRC plus in the leadoff role. Like he's been fine. He's been above average. So yeah, it's just weird. Just weird to me.
I know. I want to make one more comment on it. Comes with Baseball Worldwide. Because I'm young. I grew up watching him carry the team. I don't dislike the guy, but name another contending team that would want Kutch as a starting DH. And I appreciate that. That's fair. Like that is a fair question. Like what other contending team wants just a fine DH? Let me counter that with you. So what other contender wants Jack Sawinski? What other contender wants Michael A. Taylor? What other contender wants Brian Hayes? What other contender is starting Joshua Palacios? What other contender? You know what I mean? Like, let's go down the list.
Right.
So again, there's bigger fish to fry when you come down to the pot of problems. So that's it. That's it. Kutch is fine. Go actually fix the problems, not the one that's okay.
Right.
Kutch isn't hurting you. The 5 guys at the back end of this lineup, if not 6, when another guy has come out of the lineup like Brian Reynolds today, are the ones that are hurting your team. So fix them. If I have 4 holes in 3 tires and 1 tire, the tread's low, am I going to fix that tire or am I going to fix the other 3 tires? I'm not bitching about the 1 tire that's low on my tread. These ones don't have any air in it, and they have holes all through them.
It's almost 1 a.m. here on the East Coast, and DiNardo. That was a DiNardo metaphor, everybody. It was a comparing Kutch and the Pirate team holes to tires. I like it. But no, that's what I'm saying. And then like the other thing too, like you see these names get floated out on who the Pirates could pick up for bats, and everyone's like, oh, well, they're just league average. Like they're a league average hitter. Like, guys, a league average hitter right now is miles ahead of Sawinski, Michael A. Taylor. Like
they're doubling their production.
Yeah. You could get a league average third baseman, put him in there for Hayes, and he'd hit 200, more OPS points. Like it's huge. So just come on, like go get a bat. We just need somebody. I'll take league average at this point. Yeah, right. 2 outfielders and a Yandy Diaz. Call it a night.
Sounds like a Beck song.
Go get Jake Berger. He homered again today too.
2 outfielders and a Yandy Diaz. Where are they at?
Oh God, DiNardo's singing. This is definitely NS9 After Dark.
It is NS9 After Dark, baby.
We need a graphic for that. We need.
Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, Cody, get working on the NS9 After Dark graphic.
Anyways, yeah, it was a rough game. It was a rough game.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Tomorrow, hopefully they can come back, get a W. And so let's make them 2 games out of the wild card now. I didn't look.
I mean, yeah, I think the Padres won, but everybody else pretty much like lost, at least in the division.
2.5.
Which I said it was a good chance to gain another game on the Brewers and Cardinals, but didn't happen. But hey, this was the Gallon start. You weren't really expecting a win. They were, like I said, they were pretty big dogs coming into this. So you got past Gallon now. Would have liked to have had a win. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the next 2. And then, because
Marco Gonzalez.
Gonzalez pitches
tomorrow.
And then on Sunday.
Yeah. So Gonzalez has looked better. I shouldn't say better. He's looked good all year. He's back and he still looks pretty good. Brandon Pfaadt's pitching tomorrow. So yeah, there's opportunity still. And hey, this bullpen is definitely still fresh because they didn't use most of their dogs today.
Like obviously. Holderman, Bednar, Chapman, they're all waiting. Let's use them tomorrow, maybe.
So tomorrow's a new day. They go down 0-1 on the road for the big series. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be back. I think you're not back, right? I forget.
Yeah, this is my last for the week for this week.
All right. Well, I'll be back tomorrow with somebody.
Somebody. There you go.
We'll see you then. Appreciate y'all for staying up this late and watching this dumb show. But yeah, I guess we'll see you today. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.